Hi guys, welcome to T's Foam and Terrain and all that. Today we've got a slightly different series. A lot of people may not want to follow this video in this series, and that's completely fine. But for me, this is kind of my channel for my hobbies, and one of the hobbies that I've been very interested in getting into is that of a model railway layout. I guess I haven't really got a title for the series yet. Maybe something like, Gosport Railway, because that's what my layout is going to be based on, which I will tell you about very shortly. But why model railways? Well, I've always loved steam railways. Maybe not, ridiculously, but if I saw one, wow, that's really pretty. Really, it just, and I guess it was my fascination with history and the Second World War, and and you see a lot of images of steam trains going through Britain, the ones with the carriages, and they're taking troops off, or they're taking children off to the countryside for safety. And the steam engine for a long time was the workhorse of Britain, and so much comes out of or came out of the railways that a lot of us take for granted. For example, standardized time, the idea that everybody in the country's time was going to be set according to Greenwich Mean Time. That's something that springs out of the railways that perhaps a lot of people don't realise. Because previous to that, you'd have one station where they'd be calling it 10 past 12, and somewhere maybe not far away, 50 miles away, was calling it 20 past 12, and yet and so for train timetables they had to standardise that, and so that's another thing that really fascinates me about trains. And I guess model railways really was quite a logical step for me, in the sense that I really enjoy the steam period, and I really enjoy making models and just looking at the creative side of that, and I guess really model railways for me really is the pinnacle of terrain. The realism that you see in a model railway is just incredible. And if you don't know what I'm on about, just go and have a look on YouTube, or Google model railways and just look at it. It looks like a scaled down version of reality. And I love that. And I understand that in wargaming we're not quite up to that standard, primarily because our stuff's for gaming, so it's not, doesn't quite work the same way. I mean, you get battle boards, terrain boards, and they do a very good job of creating that, but still, our stuff's got to be robust, and so I can understand why ours isn't up to that standard. But I really want to push myself. I want to be able to reach that standard, and I think the model railway is probably a good place to attempt that. So really today's video is kind of an introduction to my model railway project. As I say, I'm going to be building it, and let me just be very clear, because otherwise my wife will shoot me. This is a project that I don't plan really to start laying down track for probably somewhere like 2 years. This is definitely a long-term project, because between now and then, I've got my masters, which I'm going to finish, hopefully find a job that pays really well, and that more than likely is going to involve a move, and I don't really want to start a project here. I haven't got the space for what I want to do, although I could start it. I don't want to then have to transport it and risk it being damaged and stuff like that, and I want to do a British railway with in end gauge. And there's all the questions about, well, if I'm going to do that, can I buy American track, and which is a slightly different size, and use that and incorporate it. So there's a lot of questions about that. I think having just today met someone on Facebook that is a Brit living in California, he imports all this stuff from England. So I think if we do end up staying in the States, maybe on the East Coast, somewhere like that, is the hope. If we don't move back to England, then I will probably go down the importing route and import a lot of stuff. Hopefully I'm earning enough to be able to do that. But anyway, so it's a 2-year plan, and within that 2 years, I'm hoping to get a lot of my wargaming stuff completed, a lot of my armies completed, so that I can then move my focus from wargaming onto model railways, and I'll have enough wargaming stuff to just, you know, just to play. That's the plan. So when I start or I guess my project has already started for the railway, because I'm already doing a lot of research. And one of the things that I've just recently purchased is this book, The Railways of Gosport by Kevin Robertson. It's an absolutely fantastic book. The level of detail is phenomenal. It is a very well researched book. It has track plans, signal plans. It has diagrams of stations which give you the dimensions in terms of, you know, 1 inch is 80 feet, you know, that sort of thing. It has plans of the stations, so that I can not only, because I wasn't looking at the products available, there weren't any buildings that I could see that would fit, because I want it to be accurate. I want it to be historically accurate, and I'm looking at probably 1910s, 20s, and 30s. It may even become that certain parts of the line represent certain eras, so that, you know, perhaps the Stokes Bay line, because it closed very early, it may be a section of Gosport which is in the 1900s. It might be that the main line is the 1930s. It might be that the Lee line, the Lee branch line, is the 1920s, because that was its sort of pinnacle. So I'm gonna, you know, this is a very fluid idea. And the nice thing about this is, because I couldn't find any buildings, this has got the designs and it's got dimensions. So I'm going to scratch build my buildings, and I'm probably actually going to start on that relatively soon, because I can transport those around. You know, I can practice now. I can start, and if it doesn't go right, then I don't have to worry. I can, you know, start again. So I'm very much in the experimental stage at the moment, and putting together a plan. A lot of the plans dealt with in the book. The book's great. It's got the main line. It even goes up to Fareham, and it has got a lot about Fareham Station. But I am planning to start my my layout just north of Brockhurst Station. If you're familiar with Gosport, these will make sense. If not, you might want to look up on a map of Gosport. I might even lay over, I don't know, a picture track. But anyway, I'm going to start mine from the road bridge of Brewers Lane, which is just north of Brockhurst Station. So that'll be a lovely point in which I can go through into a fiddle yard, and then working basically in a straight line, and it'll probably fit along a wall. That's what I'm expecting to do, and we'll go down to Brockhurst Station, and then we'll go right through to Gosport Station. I'm probably not going to go as far as Clarence Yard, for various reasons. It might be that later on I'll add that on, but certainly in the initial plan, and I'm going to be working in sections. You know, maybe I'll do a 2-foot boards, and kind of do 2 foot, then do another 2, you know, add another 2 foot on it, and build it up like that. The branch lines, basically, I mean, if you've got the main line, the main board going across the top, then the idea is that from Brockhurst Station, the Lee line's going to come down, and then it's going to go across. So it's going to come essentially across the room, and then maybe against the other wall. So I might have to put a bridge in there for me to slip under, so that the room's usable. However, if I get a garage or a shed or something like that, then it might be that I can do that sort of thing. Although, bearing in mind with the dimensions I'm talking, there's potential that this could be quite a big build. Also, the Stokes Bay line will come directly straight down, so it's going to be an odd shape. I've been speaking to some people on Facebook that live in Gosport and do model railways and have a lot more experience than me, and we were talking that maybe we might want to do something like start up our own model railway club in Gosport, find a venue that we could leave the layout at, and I was very much keen to, you know, put my layout forward as an idea for us to do. And, you know, the idea for me that, you know, one day we could produce something that may be going on public display, that people could come and look at what Gosport used to look like. For me, someone very, you know, kind of, I take a lot of pride in my hometown because of the amount of history that's got, and so for me, that would be really nice. But we'll wait and see. I mean, it could be that this is just in my basement. If I end up staying in America and have a big enough basement, it might be just something that's in the basement where I can go and I can drive the trains around. You know, and for me, I think particularly in the last week where I've been very busy at work and I've been very stressed over various things that have been going on, I think being able to have somewhere that I can retreat to like that and just drive the trains, you know, up and down the rails, you know, and stopping at the stations, all that, I think that would be good for me. So that's kind of the plan. So I will be producing videos every now and again with updates. When I start to build it, I'll obviously be doing a lot of videos. I'll probably maybe do one in the next week or so. We're working on the scratch build, one of the scratch build buildings. My thought is that I'm going to start off at the down track, or the downside, which I learnt this week actually from speaking to my best friend's dad, that up tracks are the track that heads towards London. And if you imagine that London is on a hill, then all the tracks that run to London up, they go up to London. So even if you're in Glasgow and you're going to London, you're going up to London, and then you're going down from London to Glasgow, or how, you know, wherever you are. So that was something interesting I found out. I'm glad I know that now. So that's the plan. As I say, I'm going to start scratch building, and I'm planning to do the downside track waiting hut. It's a very small thing. It's kind of wooden, had a shelter with a bench, as well as a little waiting room itself. So I'm gonna have a little play around with some materials that I've got. Some of it will be some balsa or basswood. Some of it will be plasticard. It is N-gauge scale. I have bought some figures to kind of do to see if it looks right in terms of size and stuff. So, but it's just going to be, I hope, one of those relaxing projects where I just get to sit down and I get to take my time about it, see what works, see what doesn't work, put it together, you know, really work on the paint, on the painting of it, and the detail and the weathering and the texturing, and just that really kind of like, you know what, I'm going to take a lot of pride into this. So that's the plan. And as I say, I'll probably put some videos up on that, and there'll be much more. I'll probably get some once I start getting some track plans together, maybe on the computer, I'll certainly do some videos of that, because I know there's a lot of people out there who want to see it, and I'm hoping that friends that I'm making who are model railway people will come to my page and my YouTube channel just as much as those who follow me from the wargaming community. And you know, we're all hobbyists, and that's kind of my feeling about it, is we're all hobbyists. So let's, you know, just help each other out with ideas. For this scratch building idea for the hut, you know, I wasn't sure what materials to use, so I put questions out on the model railway pages, and I put them out on the terrain building pages for wargaming. You know what, I got some great ideas from both sides, and I will incorporate all that together, particularly as I want to add the wargaming element of being able to take the roof off and look inside and see all the details. So I may be completely making myself a lovely bit of rough to sink in, but if that's even a saying. Anyway, enough from me rambling on today, but like I say, so this is my model railway kind of series, looking at my own layout and what I want to do with that. So keep following along if you enjoy it, and if it's something new and you take a look, why not? It might be something that you get interested in, even if you don't do anything about it other than watch the videos. So anyway, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, like my Facebook page, whatever it is, and I will see you next time. And until then, take care and have a lovely rest of your day. All right.